Hello, friends, and welcome to my today's lecture on William Shakespeare, a short note. In my last few lectures, I had spoken about the Elizabethan age, its history, and its characteristics. Today, I'll be talking about William Shakespeare, who also belonged to the Elizabethan age. Now, William Shakespeare was an English playwright, poet, and actor, widely regarded as the greatest writer in the English language and the world's greatest dramatist. He is often called England's national poet and the Bard of Avon. Shakespeare was a prolific writer during the Elizabethan and Jacobean ages of British theatre, sometimes also called the English Renaissance or the early modern period. His plays are perhaps his most enduring legacy, but that are not all that he wrote. His poems also remain popular to this day. His works, including collaborations, consist of some 39 plays, 154 sonnets, 2 long narrative poems, and a few other verses, some of uncertain authorship. His plays have been translated into every major living language and are performed more than those of any other playwright. They also continue to be studied and reinterpreted. Known throughout the world, Shakespeare's writings capture the range of human emotion and conflict and have been celebrated more than 400 years. And yet, his own personal life is somewhat a mystery. We get to know about Shakespeare through two primary sources that provide historians with an outline of his life. One is his own works, that is the plays, poems, and sonnets, and the other is the official documentation such as the church and the court records, though very less in number. Now, before we move on further and talk about Shakespeare more, let's first see the early life of Shakespeare. Shakespeare was born on 23rd April 1569 in Stratford upon Avon and baptized at Holy Trinity Church, and he died in 1616 in the month of April. Shakespeare was the third child of John Shakespeare, his father, who was a leather merchant, and Mary Arden, his mother, was a local landed heiress. He had two elder sisters, Joan and Judith, and three younger brothers, Gilbert, Richard, and Edmund. Since both his elder sisters died in infancy, he became the eldest surviving child of his parents. Now, before the birth of Shakespeare, his father became a successful merchant and held official positions as an alderman and bailiff, an office resembling a mayor. However, according his fortune declined sometime in the 1570s. Now, although none or very scanty records regarding his private life exist, which has stimulated considerable speculation about such matters as his physical appearance, his sexuality, religious beliefs, and even the works attributed to him were written by others. Since no attendance records of his do still exist, most biographers agree that he was probably educated at King's New School in Stratford, a free school chartered in 1552, about 400 meters from his home. He had even attended the grammar school. Now, grammar schools during the Elizabethan era varied in quality, but since the school curricula being largely similar, the Latin text was standardized by the royal decree, and the school would have provided an intense education in grammar based upon Latin classical authors. Now, he would have lived with his family in their house on Henley Street until Shakespeare turned 18, because at the age of 18 he married Anne Hathaway, who was 26. Now, more about Shakespeare I'll be talking about in my next lecture. Till then, goodbye and thank you, friends.